there and welcome to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscription is and always will be absolutely free. Anyway, in this video we're going to be discussing the problem that you get when your camellia flowers turn brown. Now there's two reasons why this would be, and what we're going to do again to explain exactly what causes it, and then we're going to talk about what you can do to mitigate it. Now, of these two issues, one of them is actually quite simple to solve, while the other one is a little bit more serious. But let's start off with issue number one. Now, the first causal reason for your camellia flowers turning brown is actually frost damage, but it doesn't affect all camellia species. It tends to be more prone on your less hardy camellia species, and it tends to be a phenomena when you have a hard frost at night, and then in the morning those flower buds are hit by direct early morning light, and it's just one of those things that you can actually deal with quite easily. Once you've recognized the signs, you know, usually it's the outer petals of the plant turning brown. Sometimes it can be all of the petals starting to turn brown at the tips and coming in, but there's a very simple resolution to that. You just need to move your camellias, you know, put them somewhere under protection. I mean, in their native habitats, the parent species of all your camellia varieties would be growing under the protection of a woodland canopy. So give it protection, get it away from an area that does get frost. If it does get frost, then move it into a position where it doesn't receive early morning sunlight. Now you can either move it, or you can plant something in front of it that shades the plant. So that's the first one, and it's, like I say, it does look horrendous, especially on some of the white and red varieties, but on the whole that one's quite easy to resolve. So for example, this camellia here is under the protection of this this big old ilex, old holly tree, and the sun, early morning sun, starts that way around, so it's shaded from that, and then it gets the regular sun the rest of the day. So it does get a lot of sun on it, does get protection in the summer when the sun's at its highest. So this one's absolutely fine. And over here we have two further camellias, one here, both protected by the canopy of this this very old, very large Bramley apple tree. And once again, when the sun comes around in the morning, it's protected by all the trees on this side, so we don't have that issue with these plants. Hold on a minute. I've got something important to say. If you've enjoyed this video or just find some of the information in it useful to you, then consider clicking on the like button. That way it makes it a lot easier for YouTube to find other people who want to find that information. Anyway, no further ado, let's continue finding out what old Boilbutt has to say. The second and far more insidious problem with your flowers turning brown are fungal infections. Now that could either be Camellia Flower Blight or one of a selection of fungal infections that latch onto your flower buds, usually when they're fairly tight, and just stays on until the time to open. They just go and fall on the floor. But those two are a little bit more difficult to deal with. I'll explain why. Now, Camellia Flower Blight is it's caused by the fungus Ciborinia camelliae, and you can recognise this. It tends to start off with small brown blobs on your petals, and they sort of grow into rather large unsightly blobs. You can get some premature flower drop, but the problem is the spores. The problem is you can't spray a fungicide to deal with it, so the problem is you have to try and deal with the spores by hand. Now the spores tend to be laid dormant in the ground around the base of the plant, and also in the petals. You know, if you can, it's easy to recognise this issue against the other issues, because at the when the petals fall off, at the base of the petals there's like a white ring of mycelium, which fairly indicative that is what the that fungal infection is. So all you can really do is have good housekeeping, tidy away, clear up all of the flower petals, remove them, take them away. You know, consider taking away, you know, a few inches of the soil around the base of your camellia. Take that away, put that somewhere else, and possibly mulch, you know, quite a thick mulch over the autumn period. Problem with the spores, they tend to be on raised up on these structures that can be about 4 inches tall. So if you are going to put down a mulch to combat this problem, you're going to need 5-6 inches of a heavy mulch, which you know, you may or may not be able to do. So your other kind of fungal problem is your grey mould, your Botrytis, cinerea. Again, a bit of a problem. You know, it attacks the flower buds, stops them from forming, can cause premature falling off. Again, you can't really spray a fungicide for it. It doesn't really tend to work very well. And it's back to the old housekeeping techniques that I mentioned before with the Camellia bud blight. But one of the things with the grey mould, it tends to be more prone on plants that are stressed. So if you've got camellias growing in containers, growing in pots, they can become heat stressed, they can become water stressed if you're not watering them enough. And stressed plants, as you know, they are less able to defend themselves against fungal infections. So if it's in a pot, consider moving it into the ground. If it's already in the ground, then we're back to hygiene, removing the old flower petals, the dead buds, scrape away some of the soil, backfill with a strong mulch. And they're both the issues and both the causes and both the treatments that you can give with your Camellia flowers turning brown. So Camellia flower turning brown, it's not a particularly nice issue to have, and it's not particularly easy to resolve. But you know what, if you've got any other advice, any comments, any tips that you'd like to add to that will help others deal with their Camellia flower issues, and let us know, put that in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Anyway, lovely day. I'm going to get on with something else. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed that, we have got plenty more videos for you to look at. Just have a quick search into our video library. Otherwise, you can check on this one here. And if that's not your cup of tea, try that one there. Enjoy these while I've still got the energy to do them.